What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 51 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi. Ali, that's you.
Yay! What's up, Justin? How you doing, man?
Pretty good. You know, this is actually our 1-year anniversary of Thinktwice.
I did not, but I know now, so...
It is.
Happy anniversary, Justin. I'm sorry I forgot. I didn't get you a gift.
I got you a gift.
Did you?
Yeah, the episode is the gift.
Oh, okay.
Were you disappointed?
No,
you sound really disappointed.
I mean, I came disappointed because I got you nothing and I forgot. So
it's easy to forget because episode 51, because there's 52 weeks in the year, right? But we did miss 1 week. Late last year, I had a family emergency and was unable to record for the entire week. So yeah, this is it. Congratulations to us on making it 1 year. Hey.
Yeah, I know. Clap on the back.
I was clapping my hands.
I was clapping my back.
That's fine. You can clap wherever you want. You can clap your knees. You can clap your feet.
It's true.
You can clap your face. You can clap your face for me.
Okay.
There you go. I like that.
There you go. We've actually had a like pretty consistent podcast. There's been times where we both like had ups and downs, or moving, or flooding, or whatever, and we still managed. Or Choi, our director died, and then he came back as a zombie.
Came back from the dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was enchanted with dead weight. Had dead weight removed. Yeah,
exactly. It's been crazy.
And through it all, here we are every week. No concerns about quality, but we have been here.
We have, and we've only missed one time, which is great. So I think it's awesome. So happy birthday, Thinktwice.
Yeah, happy birthday, happy birthday. Since you're one, you won't remember this podcast, so we won't get you any presents.
Okay, all right.
Because they're not going to know. Thinktwice isn't good. It's a one. It's one. It can't even think yet.
Yeah, it's one.
Even though it is think twice. You can't even think once yet.
Oh my goodness. All right. So what did you do last weekend, Justin?
I went to Richmond to go to Water Country, USA, which is the water park connected to Busch Gardens, because as some of you have known, I have a season pass to Busch Gardens, so we've been going to do that. And we went to go do that, and it was really, really hot. We were going to go to Busch Gardens the next day, and we did not. We did not at all.
Yeah, I saw a picture of like record-breaking heat everywhere. So yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah,
it's hot here too.
It was so hot, and we were getting in the water frequently. We were like, because we went to that the first day, and then the second we were like, do we want to go to Busch Gardens where we can't just jump in water whenever we want? And we did not. The answer was we did not. So we didn't.
No, yeah.
It was still fun.
Did you get sunburnt?
Actually, no. We decided that we were all going to buy shirts, like surfer shirts. Like the ones that dry really quickly.
Oh,
and just wear those.
Those are great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wear that from now on, because like I'm not what you would call I would say I have fair skin. Okay, I'm not brown like you. Mm-hmm. So I can get burned fairly easily. And I was the tannest person among myself, Meredith, Parker, her oldest son, and her brother Matthew. And I was the tannest person, which is saying something, if you guys can imagine that. So we all had the shirts. None of us got burned except on our feet, because it's really hot in some of the spots when we couldn't have shoes on. So yeah, it was a good time. So that was kind of what I did over the last week. What about you?
Nice. Well, I sent Maggie off. Maggie, the little wiener dog.
What? Are you punishing her?
No, I sent her to doggy boot camp.
It sounds a lot like you're punishing her.
It's not.
No, I'm not punishing her. I'm just sending her to boot camp.
No, there's a person locally around the North Carolina, South Carolina border area. Her name is Lindsay Elliott. She has a really good price for doggy boot camp. I say boot camp, and it's just basically just leash training, potty training, learning to come, basically like obedience training.
Yeah, sounds exactly like obedience training.
Yeah, and the dog like lives inside with her in the house, so it's never in a crate by itself in a dark place somewhere, and it's it's only 7 days, and for 7 days it's only $150, which I think is actually a steal. So
yeah, how would you say? So it's $150, and then in emotional dollars, how much is that costing?
You mean how much did I miss her?
Yeah, how much is it costing you in emotional dollars?
Emotional dollars? I don't. A lot of emotional dollars because I miss her a lot. Maggie's been like my therapeutic outlet towards things that have been going on recently in my life, as far as relationship wise, and losing her, quote unquote, losing her, or letting someone borrow her.
So today we're recording on Thursday. How many days more she's gonna be gone?
I'll pick her up Monday.
Monday. Oh man, so you got a whole weekend?
I know.
Jeez. Good luck.
But it's okay. She'll come back and she'll be a trained pupper.
Yep.
And the biggest thing I want is for her to listen to Come and use restroom outside. So because I know
that's pretty big.
If she's outside playing, there's a car coming. When I say her name, I need her to come. I know we used to have a dog named Baxter.
Yep.
Dawson too, growing up, and he did not come. We called him. he looked at you.
He was like, I hear you.
Yeah.
He acknowledged you, and he knew what his name was, but he did not want to listen.
Yep. And one more thing, I have an exciting announcement for next week.
Okay.
July 11th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. EST.
So that's next Wednesday, right?
Next Wednesday.
Okay.
Yes. Or 2 p.m. 6 p.m. PST. I was invited by Wizards of the Coast for the M19 Early Access event for MTG Arena.
Ooh. So we did the Dominaria Early Access event last time, and you're getting to run back the M19 event.
Yes.
Nice.
It's going to be both draft and constructed. I'm not sure if it's best 2 of 3 yet. We'll find out. But the thing I want to talk about is I will be giving away beta arena keys. So... And I give them away any way I want. So I have 20 keys, guys, and I'll be giving them away based on Bolas lore. So I'll be asking a question, and if you guys can give the answer, then you guys get a key.
That's pretty good. Okay, so is it going to be like first one to answer correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so Thinktwice listeners.
You know what?
This is your heads up.
If you listen to Thinktwice, I'll give you a heads up.
Know your Bolas.
One of the questions, this one's pretty easy, is who is Nicol Bolas' twin brother?
Maggie.
Maggie, correct.
Yes. One beta key from me.
Yeah, that is one of the questions. If you guys get that right on the stream, you will get a beta key. So I think it's pretty good. It obviously one more per person. So if you're like aficionado on Bolas, you can't win all the keys.
No, you can get one.
Max one per person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Why would you need more than one?
In case you want to try to sell them or something.
Yeah, but then you don't even deserve one.
That's greedy.
Yeah. Yeah, get out of here. You're banned.
Yeah, so I think it'd be cool for M19, and especially since M19 is like Bolas lore. So.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's good. Yeah. I'm in for that. I'm in for that.
All right. Sweet.
I will not be able to participate this time. That is obviously I work at Star City Games. That is a very busy week for us. So Ali is going to be holding the ship down with the Bolas lore.
Yeah, and in case you guys don't know, it's www.twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi.
If you watch the Thinktwice stream, which is twitch.tv/ThinktwiceMTG, that channel will be hosting Ali. So you can tune into either of those and make sure you catch his stream.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in, because I'll be there. I need you guys.
Awesome. So one more quick thing before we move on to our little plug section. Last week we had a question of the week. Which HBO show is better, Game of Thrones, which is what you said, Westworld, which is what I said. I got Demolished, which is no surprise. There's no chance I was going to win this one. But sometimes it's
I didn't think it'd be this big, but this is probably the biggest difference.
I think this is the biggest beating ever in question of the week.
Yeah.
Only 67% of people said Game of Thrones, 15% of people said Westworld, and normally we don't state this, but 18% of people wanted to just look at the results. So more people wanted to look at the results than thought Westworld was a better show than Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Just to dagger myself a little bit more. I still maintain that Westworld is better. I know you guys, most of you don't agree. Just give it a little time. Give it a little time. I mean, Westworld has got a lot going for it, and it's going to take some time to get to where Game of Thrones is, because Game of Thrones is just a juggernaut of television. It's probably one of the best TV shows of all time. So obviously I'm putting a lot up there, but keep watching Westworld. Yeah. Just keep watching.
I think I see what you're saying. I just think Game of Thrones is always going to be like it just appeals to my inner gamer nerd person.
Yeah,
and I don't think Westworld can ever come to that. So
and I understand. I mean, Game of Thrones is fantasy, where Westworld is sci-fi, and those are two different things.
Yep. I
mean, that's not a bad thing. All right, before we get on to our first topic of the week, we want to give a shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG is the place you can go if you'd like to support the show, specifically our $1 Augur Bolas tier, which gets you access to our Discord channel, including our Animal Lovers channel, which is where all of our listeners send their animal pictures. And even though there's a bunch of other stuff, you get early access to the show just for that one. We talk about magic a bunch too. I'm telling you, it's worth it just for the animal channel.
Yeah, I agree.
I promise. There's not been a single person who has gotten this that feels like that they are misallocating their dollar. Okay.
There are a few just for
that. People have come in and be like, I want to see this animal channel, and then like, yep, this is great. Yep, this has been worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also want to give a shout out to our SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher listeners. You guys, we appreciate you, whatever podcast format you are listening to. Please remember to leave us a review if you're able to. It takes a very short amount of time for you, and it means a lot to us. You guys have been doing good with leaving the reviews, but we're going to keep asking until every single one of you does it. You haven't done it.
Correct,
you know
that's
who you are. You know who you are. Just leave a review.
I just want to thank you for the people that have stuck around with Patreon through the entirety. I know some people stick, and they can only do so much, or get the item they want and stop. But the people that stick forever, and like, you guys keep this podcast alive, and I just want to say thank you. Like, we don't have a lot of new members recently, but we have a lot of people that are consistent. And guys, I personally just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate it.
There's a handful of you. There's a handful of you that have been supporting virtually the whole time, and I know all of your names. I know who all of you are. So we appreciate you guys.
Seriously,
very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, all right. We spent enough time here. I think it's time to go on to our first segment. So without further ado, we're going to take a quick break. And when we return, I'm going to yell a lot.
Okay, I'm ready. Oh God, I'm ready.
So, Monday, 11 a.m.
Glorious Monday.
July 2nd. It's a day that will go down in infamy. Longtime listeners of the show will know that I love Legacy. It's a great format. I love Eternal Magic. And I have cards that I feel strongly about.
You're actually my go-to Legacy person.
I'm a lot of people's go-to Legacy person. Like, I'm obviously known for Commander, but I'm not like, I don't want to hurt myself by patting myself on the back too hard. But I've played Legacy for a really long time. Probably about 15 years, honestly. Consistently, like not just like I've played it off and on. Like, I've played it consistently since they rotated, believe it or not, guys, extended the format that was the precursor to Modern. At one point, Force of Will and Dual Lands were actually legal and extended. And they rotated those into Legacy, which essentially made Legacy the format that it is now. And ever since then, I've been playing it. So this was around, about 15 years ago. So I've been playing Legacy for a long time. And there's been one consistent card since really the inception of that format that's kind of been the best card in the format. And the card is Brainstorm. Now, we just had a banning.
Not close.
We just had a banning of Deathrite Shaman, which a lot of you know is one of my favorite cards of all time. I have a gigantic poster of Deathrite Shaman on my wall, directly behind me. When you guys see me stream or have seen other video versions of Thinktwice, you've seen this gigantic poster on the wall, and people are going to think that I'm upset because I love playing with Deathrite Shaman, which is true. That I didn't want that banned. I didn't. But it's not it's not because of Death Threat Shaman. Gitaxian Probe is a whole different topic. That I'll get to in a second. But these two cards were banned, in my opinion, with the people making the decisions either taking very little forethought into why they're making the decisions to ban particular cards that they are, or purposefully ignoring the best way to get the changes they'd like out of the format, and that, quite simply, is banning Brainstorm, the best card in the format. The card.
I think it's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think for some reason Brainstorm has moved itself to like unbannable, right? For whatever reason, I don't know why, but it's like it's moved to it's like in a place that people know that hey, Brainstorm is the best card in this format, but we can't ban it, or we won't ban it.
We won't ban it.
Definitely, yeah. And people argue, oh, fetch lands are the problem. Okay, sure, but you can't ban mana fix. You can't ban fetch lands. Fetch lands aren't like
too many people are using them for good exclusively.
Yes, like they fix other colors. They're like fetch lands are fine cards. Like they're not like Brainstorm is it literally warps the format.
Totally. And and some argue, well, Death Threat Shaman did the same thing. It invalidated an entire class of decks that rely on the graveyard. Which I would like to remind people, generally the graveyard decks are the villains, okay? Because they're notoriously difficult to interact with. So now all of a sudden, because people are playing Death Threat Shaman, and I don't want to say all of a sudden because it's been going on for years, but graveyard decks are the hero now. Let's see how long that lasts. Because there was a time. Let me tell you,
Dredge isn't magic.
Let me tell you how many different cards graveyard decks have gotten banned. It's a lot. In fact, graveyard decks have resulted in the ban of the most cards in the Legacy format over the entirety of the format. Okay, Entomb at one point, Mystical Tutor now, Survival of the Fittest now. Those are just the ones that are
also
off the top of my head.
Even in the beginning, there was World Gorge Dragon, right?
That doesn't actually...
just for Reanimator?
Technically has... Yes. Technically...
That was like way back.
Yeah, but World Gorge Dragon, Flash, all interacting with Graveyard. Flash is a little weird because you can't...
The Hermit guy.
Hermit Druid.
Yeah.
There's...
Your whole deck. There's a lot.
So we're now talking about graveyard decks as though they're the hero. I'm really excited for the very short future that we're getting ready to enter into where they're decidedly not the hero. And the hero is sitting on the sidelines. But either way, I digress.
I think Justin is super obviously one-sided. I like Legacy. The only thing I don't like about it is the barrier to entry. That's the only thing. And I honestly believe that Brainstorm stifles innovation. If you were to ban Brainstorm and like leave Death Threat Shaman in, the quote unquote Jund, like, so you're afraid of Death Threat Shaman, like a Jund deck if you have a Jund deck?
Well, and that was one of the points I made. I was like, hey guys, remember when the scourge of the format was the Death Threat Shaman led Elves deck or the Maverick deck or the Jund deck? Oh no!
Yeah, you're right.
Oh no, because they weren't, because no one's ever been concerned about those decks because they don't have Brainstorm in them.
Yeah, and Death Threat Shaman, like, those decks could play like Elspeth. You play like a Bant deck. Maybe there's like a Garrick deck. Like, it's sweet to see these mid-range decks happening because Death Threat Shaman. But I understand, like, it's Brainstorm. Like, you can't play decks because of Brainstorm. And I personally, my favorite card in Legacy, I think, is is a creature when it dies.
Let me guess, you're trying to say Veteran Explorer?
Yes, I love that card.
I knew it. There's people that are listening right now that are saying, you just don't want Death Threat Shaman to be banned because you love playing with that card and you play with it so much. Ollie, do you want to guess what card I've cast more than any other card in Legacy? Brainstorm. By a lot.
Yeah, I have
I've played with Brainstorm more than any other card.
I have too.
By a lot. The card that I've played with the most is the card that I want banned. Okay?
You just have to. Yeah.
The issue is they've gotten rid of Death Threat Shaman and Gitaxian Probe when they should have gone through progressions. ultimately, let's go ahead and take Brainstorm off the table and just say this is a pillar of the format. They're never going to ban it. They just don't want to, not regardless of the health of the format. They don't care. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They released a statement to describe why they banned Deathrite and Gitaxian Probe, and it sounded like they're written by two entirely different people that didn't know the other card was going to be banned. Like they were like set two people off, and they were like, all right, you can ban one card, pick it, and then write up why. In the Gitaxian Probe write-up, they're talking about, like, well, banning Gitaxian Probe is going to hurt Grixis Delver. And it's like, well, okay, what's Grixis Delver? Because you just banned that in your previous statement. So you don't get to say this hurts the deck that doesn't exist anymore. That's like saying, like, banning Teferi in standards. Like, this is really going to hurt the blue-white Teferi decks. What Teferi decks? You just killed them. They don't exist anymore. Like the disconnect between those two statements were completely illogical, and the fact that every single deck that you named, 100% of the decks that you named, played Brainstorm again. Anyway,
I actually do not like Probe. I know maybe you shouldn't. Like,
I love Gitaxian Probe, and it should never exist.
Yeah. I think it's. In a way that Dredge kind of is not playing Magic. Like you have to, it's you're playing from a graveyard. There's no lands or anything.
Yeah, Gitaxian Probe.
Is same
I'm not
way.
going to sit here and defend Gitaxian Probe because this is a card that never should have existed in any form. There's only 3 functions to it. It's blue. It draws you a card. There's 4 functions to it. It's blue. It draws you a card. It costs 0 mana, and it lets you look at your opponent's hand for free.
Yeah, and looking at your opponent's hand takes away a huge aspect of the game of like guessing, of intuition, or
if you take away
bluffing.
If you take away one factor of these cards, this card is whatever. It's relevant.
Right. There's a card called Peak that's instant. It costs 1 blue. Does everything the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting that free information, which basically like 2 life is basically free. Yeah. I think it's too much for Magic.
Yeah, I'm not defending Gitaxian Probe. That being said, I wish they would have just done these one and then another one. See what happens. Because I don't think people believe that the cards that benefit the most from Gitaxian Probe, things like Monastery Mentor and notably in Legacy Young Pyromancer, those cards aren't problems. You've specified that Gitaxian Probe itself is the problem and the Deathrite Shaman is the problem. But cards fuel those cards aren't problems because you don't think the Brainstorm is a problem, but you do think Gitaxian Probe is a problem, but you don't think Ponder is a problem. I don't know. It's the message that they're sending is incredibly inconsistent. Oh, other than we don't want anyone to play Grixis Delver because that deck doesn't exist. It's rare that you can just take the best deck and just smother it out of existence.
Mm-hmm.
But they did it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm teetering on, do I want to rant or do I want to move on with our topic? And I think the answer is just move on with our topic. Do you have anything else to say about how you feel
I was just going to say, I think banning Brainstorm actually open the format more. Seeing more black.
Well, it changes 100% of the decks in the format. 100% of them. The decks that play Brainstorm, it obviously changes significantly, and the decks that don't play Brainstorm, it changes those decks too because every deck is built with Brainstorm in mind. There's some decks that don't care about Deathrite Shaman. There's some decks that just don't care. It's just irrelevant.
I'm going to put you on hold. So I can finish my rant.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I think banning Brainstorm obviously allows more deck diversity, and I think it'd be like a great thing. Like the blue decks still have Ponder, Preordain, Peak, Portent, whatever. Like you still have a bunch of 1-mana cantrips if you want them, but just being able to see new strategies emerge is huge. Like Maverick, maybe Maverick coming back, or just some sort of mono black deck, and just some sort of mono black deck now. I just think it opens up the door to a lot of new decks, and like Bayou starts getting played, maybe even Badlands starts getting played, like maybe just a lot. And I am obviously a brewer at heart, so anything that stifles that for me, I don't like. So, all right, unmute.
Okay, so a lot of people have said, well, Brainstorm's hard to play with, so it's okay. One, that is a terrible argument. A lot of cards historically have been difficult to play with and have been so beating you over the head with their power.
Timeout. Wasn't Stoneforge Mystic and Jace the Mind Sculptor decks, weren't they like the best decks? And they were hard to play, so like usually the better player won.
Oh,
guess what happened? They still banned it.
The better player won every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I
want
to open with
where Deathrite Shaman and decks and Pro don't exist. So let's talk about what I want to call the two classes of decks, and go through the decks of each, and just briefly. The two classes of decks. There's one class, which is the Brainstorm decks, and then there's the other class, which is the non-Brainstorm decks.
All right,
because there's only two classes. You either play Brainstorm or you don't. Of course,
Justin,
you could say
take
that
the
with every
wheel.
card, but since that's the most ubiquitous card in all of Legacy, I feel like that's a fair line to draw. You ready?
Hold on. Justin, take the wheel and put the pedal to the middle.
Okay. Let's start with combo decks.
I'm ready.
Brainstorm combo decks. You have Storm. Lost Gataxian Probe. Not great. Gataxian Probe was used by Storm to see if the coast was clear and to add their Storm count. They used it pretty fairly, though. Storm was really good, but they didn't do it in a way that I would say most people had a huge problem with. However, losing one of their biggest nemesis in Deathrite Shaman means that the deck is roughly on the same level as it was previously, probably a little bit better, because Deathrite Shaman was a bane for that deck, since they actually used their graveyard pretty heavily. Again, another graveyard deck, which we want to think is the hero, but will be proven pretty shortly that it is indeed not the hero. Number 2, combo decks, Brainstorm, Reanimator. Oh, Sensing a Trend, another graveyard deck. Okay, well, Gristlebrand is going to have a big old coming out party, because prior to Deathrite Shaman's printing, Reanimator had just recently come off the heels of getting Mystical Tutor banned, and it's going to happen again. They're not going to ban Mystical Tutor again; that's already gone. However, Reanimator, when you don't have a main deck answer to it, and you're literally just going into game 2 being down a game, and you have to win both, and the Reanimator deck only has to win one, with being able to tailor their reanimation suite to fight whatever you're doing, it's going to be very difficult. I expect this to be a tier 1 deck going forward. Combo deck number 3. This is going to fit into 2 categories, so we'll go. This is the last combo deck on my list, and the first control deck, and that is Sneak and Show. This is also one of the decks I think is going to be one of the best decks going forward in Legacy. Also a Gristlebrand deck, one that doesn't use the graveyard, but greatly benefits from not having to deal with an additional clock, because time is the greatest benefit for the Sneak and Show decks. It also doesn't help that it doesn't hurt them that Gataxian Probe is gone too, where people could just check out, see what's in their hand, to know how aggressive they could be. So this is a deck that has always been high in power level and is going to continue to be. It can kind of shift into a control deck because you can play a control-y game until you finish them off, especially post-sideboard when you have access to Blood Moon. But it's not the control-iest deck in the format that carries Brainstorm as its primary weapon. That would be Miracles. Yes, the long dead, but not really dead, formerly Sensei's Divining Top led Miracles deck is still a tier 1 deck in my opinion, and the deck I have lost the most to on a regular basis. This deck is going to get better, because as I'll get to, white is going to get a lot stronger in this format, and this is arguably the best white deck, despite a primarily white deck being a very good Legacy deck. It has a lot of answers. It plays the control game absolutely the best. And if you're trying to put gigantic creatures in play, Swords to Plowshares and Terminus are very clean answers to those, as is Jace the Mind Sculptor.
It's true.
Then we get to the Brainstorm aggro decks. A couple of different flavors of Delver decks, because all of the Brainstorm aggressive decks have Delver of Secrets, regardless of Gataxian Probe or Deathrite Shaman existing or not. We have Teamer, which people are excited about. I'm not one of them. We have Jeskai, which I think is going to be better than Temur. And then you have straight blue-red, which is very similar to a burn deck that has a Delver sequence.
Yeah, I remember those decks.
Ali, you were talking before the show about Temur.
Yeah, I thought is Temur not the best Delver deck? Temur or / Canadian Threshold, is that not the best Delver deck?
I think that is the common opinion, and it is not my opinion.
Okay.
I think that,
Why is that?
I think that Jeskai and Blue-Red Delver are both superior Delver decks. Because Jeskai has significantly more resilient threats, as well as a clock. Jeskai has the combination of best removal, because you have Lightning Bolt, just like Temur does, but you also have the combination of Swords to Plowshares and Path to Exile. You also get...
Well,
what now?
I'll say, but what about the Goose?
Yeah, I don't care how loose the Goose is, because loose is not the word to describe the Goose when it's fighting a true name nemesis. The Goose is very contained. Okay. Also, Jeskai is able to play Stoneforge Mystic with Batterskull. And that is a card that Jeskai or the Temur has a significantly difficult time with, because Lightning Bolt and Nibble Mongoose are two of its primary aggressive options, neither of which really deal with the germ token that Batterskull makes. And you can have Tarmogoyf, but like they also have Swords of Plowshares, they don't really care. They're going to get those. You can slap down a Hooting Mandrills, but that's just going to trade with a germ and then come back and do it again. And then, of course, they're also clocking you with Delver and doing a better control game because they have more lands. Temur's primarily focused on wastelanding and stifling you. You can simply just play basics, and Jeskai is the problem.
Okay.
Blue-Red,
That's fair.
on the other hand, is so blisteringly fast that the biggest issue card for them out of other Delver decks was Deathrite Shaman. It doesn't even exist anymore. Price of Progress is going to be a real problem for Temur because they have no basic lands at all. Yeah. They're not good at stifling early aggression unless they have Tarmogoyf. And even again, if you're playing something like True Name Nemesis, which you can if you want to, depending on how much blue you can play, but you're also playing haste creatures. I think Bomat Courier is actually a card that could now start to see play in Legacy, because previously you had a 1/2 that was standing in the way.
Not anymore.
No more. What are you going to do? Are you going to trade my Bomat Courier with your Nimble Mongoose, which is going to be a significant threat for you later in the game?
Yeah.
They can't fill their graveyard up as quickly. I'm just saying.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think a burn-heavy blue-red Delver deck is very well positioned. Again, Price Progress is going to be a hell of a card. All right, so those are, in my opinion, the best, I'll say 7 Brainstorm decks.
Okay. Non-Brainstorm
decks, we have lands, various flavor of Merit Lodge decks. You either have lands, you have Aggro Loam, you have Turbo Depths. Either way, obviously these are in better shape with Deathrite Shaman gone. Simply put, they're all graveyard decks. They all utilize Life from the Loam as an engine, and a lot of two of them, the Aggro Loam deck and the regular Lambs deck, can now lean on Punishing Fire, which got a hell of a lot better.
All right.
Death and Tax is the primary white deck. Again, I think white got a lot better because it has hate cards where you are now able to play those more honestly, which sounds really weird, but like a card like Containment Priest got significantly better, where before it was just like, well, I don't need to play it because people aren't leading on graveyard this heavily. The thing is, Deathrite Shaman was a lot easier to deal with than something like Containment Priest or Rest in Peace. But you didn't need to play those because people weren't leaning as heavily on graveyard decks. Death and Taxes has the most planes in its deck of any deck in Legacy, therefore has access to having these excellent white hate cards. I still don't think Death and Taxes is going to be that great because it didn't... I don't know. I don't think that it was a terrible matchup with Delver, And
Right.
I don't, and it doesn't want to see something like Jeskai, which just has
just kind of dredge or reanimator really.
Yeah,
right?
really,
like,
it doesn't because it's too fair.
Yeah.
It's too fair.
Or storm decks.
On the same axis, Elves did lose Deathrite Shaman, but it's actually largely unaffected because Deathrite Shaman was a pretty good tool to them too, and they can replace Deathrite Shaman. It does help push through that extra bit of damage and really helps fight against the graveyard based decks, but they're going to be largely the same. I think it's slightly worse, but not by a ton.
Sure.
And then
what about goblins?
People think goblins is good. I just don't.
Okay. The only reason because Lackey, like Deathrite killed Lackey.
It did.
Yeah.
I think all the decks I've named previously either can deal with Goblin Lackey on turn 1 by just blocking it, or using a removal spell on it, or are excited that you're playing goblins.
Sure.
No, I'm serious. Like all the combo decks and the control decks, they're just like, oh, all right, Goblin Lackey. Okay, well here's a Gristlebrand.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Or
the non-fair decks are very not fair. So
yeah.
it's probably going to joint to non-fair decks, then Delver. And that's it.
Yeah. And then you have the 2 decks that are literally unchanged. These 2 bannings did nothing. Eldrazi and Mono Red, which are both prison-esque decks, Chalice the Void decks. You got rid of 2 1-drops, but it's not like 1-drops are going to see less play. Now it's just going to be different ones. So they just kind of have to change their tools to learn how to fight the field differently. But I think they're both very good. I think they're both probably tier 2 decks, which is good. I mean, tier 2 in Legacy is pretty wide.
Yeah.
But then we get to kind of the big elephant in the room, and that is Dredge. The deck that uses its graveyard more than any other deck. So you would think that Dredge would be in a better position than something like Reanimator, because Reanimator you can fight it a little bit easier with something like a Nihil Spellbomb or a Surgical Extraction.
Right.
But Dredge uses its whole graveyard all the time. So why is that not better? Because you're not playing against any main deck hate. Well, just like I said earlier, now people are going to be forced to play full-on graveyard hate cards. If you're playing black, you might have been able to get away with 1 or 2 in your sideboard because you had 4 Deathrite Shaman, but now you're going to need to play Leyline. If you're playing white, you're going to have to play Containment Priest or Rest in Peace. All of these cards are going to start seeing more play because you're forced, as someone who is playing either black or green, you had Deathrite Shaman just straight up.
Yeah.
You don't need more. You have to play these. You had to play these cards. Unlike Reanimator, which can fight you from a different axis, either from Through the Breach or Show and Tell, Dredge is not doing that. It's playing out of the graveyard exclusively. So, I think Reanimator is in a significantly better position than Dredge.
Okay. And you might be right too. Like the first couple weeks, maybe people can get slapped around by Dredge and Reanimator because they're not prepared. Maybe they have like 2 surgicals on their sideboard. And that's it. Yeah. And that's not enough.
It won't be enough. In any format where graveyards are heavily used, it's never enough. It's not enough. In Vintage, where Dredge is one of the best decks, it's not enough.
Yeah,
it's never been enough in Modern when it's one of the best decks. You have to prepare for it, and you have to legitimately put sideboard cards in your deck for it. So
yep. It's like the affinity of Modern, I guess. You always need artifact hate.
You gotta be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to list a handful of cards that get better with the new Legacy metagame, and then I'll talk about the top 3 decks I would play, and then we can close it out. How's that sound?
Yep, go for it.
All right, cards that get better. You're going to notice a trend to some of these. Punishing Fire. Again, Punishing Fire could kill Deathrite Shaman, but it was also really easy for Deathrite Shaman to catch Punishing Fire in the graveyard. So with that gone, Punishing Fire can take its place back in the main decks of a lot of lands type decks as a way to stifle aggro. Gristlebrand, specifically. This is the best thing to reanimate, and it's going to happen frequently. And people don't realize how difficult Gristlebrand is to deal with, because even with the Swords Plowshares, you're like, okay, well, I wasn't going to go to like 4 life to draw all these cards, but if you're going to give me 7 extra, I'll go ahead and go to 4, get that 7 back, and then I'm just going to do it again because I now have 14 cards in my hand.
Yep.
So Gristlebrand's a tough guy to deal with. Wasteland.
Ugh.
People are going to have to play more lands in their decks.
Yep.
You don't have Deathrite Shaman to lean on to kind of help you fix your mana. If you're playing greedy, there's a good chance you're going to get wastelanded. Which is why I think that specifically blue-red, Delver, and Jeskai are in a better position than Temur, because Temur is significantly greedier because they're trying to be the wasteland deck, but they can also get wastelanded. So it's a very delicate balance. I know people don't want to hear that wasteland's going to get better, but it will. Snapcaster Mage. This one's pretty obvious. It targets cards in the graveyard to reuse them. Now you can just do that without.
Yeah, Deathrite's are gone too. Yep.
And then the last one is kind of a hedge. White cards. I already talked about Containment Priest, Rest in Peace. I think Path to Exile gets a lot better in aggressive white decks. Because even though Wasteland gets better, dual lands get better too, because you have to play more lands. So if you're like, well, if I'm playing extra lands, I'll have more so I can just play more dual lands, which is true, but that makes people skimp on basics. So Path to Exile is a card I feel like is already really underutilized in Legacy, and I think it's just going to get better from this. All right.
Fair enough.
The top 3 decks that I would play in Legacy: Sneak and Show, the Gristlebrand deck, blue-black Reanimator, because I want to entomb and play Brainstorm. I'm not going to mess around with that black red. No, don't. No.
Turbo.
Yeah, just play regular Reanimator. Play the control variant. You'll be in better shape. And then what I believe is the best Delver deck going forward, which is Jeskai Delver, for all the reasons I outlined. I think it's the most resilient.
Yeah, Stoneforge is huge, actually. Yeah.
Stoneforge is real big.
Yep.
Stoneforge is real big. It's funny because people bought a bunch of them because they were expecting it to get unbanned in Modern, and it didn't. And the price jumped up. There's going to be a short window for about a month where the price will go back down. If you don't have Stoneforge Mystic and you want them, you have a month to get them, because once people figure out this is a legitimately good card in Legacy and you can play it in a number of decks, it's going to start to go back up again. It's good. I'm letting you know now that this is a good spot to be in, even though it doesn't seem like it was affected by these bans, but just how everything else kind of works around it. I think Stoneforge is going to be in good shape.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
Okay. I've talked a lot about Legacy. Ollie, do you have any parting words on the format?
No, but we'll come back to it maybe sometime.
Sometime in the future, forever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Brainstorm anyways.
All right. We're going to go ahead and close this one out. I'm going to let Ollie talk in this next segment because, of course, we are headed back to early Dominaria, where we are encountering early stage Bolas and Ugin in the Chronicles of Bolas. We'll be back in a second.
We're back on Tarkir. And now, the Ojutai Dragon wants the unknown man is telling the story of Bolas and Ugin.
And again, this is the most recent Magic story, the Chronicle of Bolas Things Unseen, which is episode 3 for the Core 19 story.
Yeah, so peel your eyes back, go dig up your Mastery of the Unseens, and get ready for Things Unseen.
Got him. Okay. So I'll be so you're wanting me to be the master of this story?
Yes, of the Unseen.
Okay, that does make sense. I got it.
Okay, so the Ojutai Dragon, he wants the unknown man that's telling the story. He's like, hey, I want you. You've been condemned to death. I want you. Everyone thinks that Yasova, the grandmother, is going to be like, okay, here's a signal to give him up. Like, we don't mess with dragons. We always listen to him because we don't want to die. But instead, old grandma lady is like, yo, here's the index finger, the thumb, and the ring finger. Kill him. To give them the signal to kill the dragons. They all go crazy. They also start doing some magic, throwing spears, tackling, and fighting the dragon. And this dragon is really, really hard to kill. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah,
during the battle,
a dragon, to clarify.
Yeah. Right, but like reading back like in Tarkir stories, they seem like there were some dragon hunters. But anyways,
those are gone.
Yeah, they are gone. Luckily, or unluckily, however you want to look at it, the Tarkir broodling that's been following them tackles the Ojtai dragon out of the sky and begins to fight it because it's in the Tarkir territory, and you guys are not, and the dragons are not supposed to go to different territories. So the Tarkir dragon broodling sees the Ojtai broodling in the territory, and without question or anything, just starts attacking him. So then
three horns don't play with long necks.
Correct. So the group is able to retreat deeper into the forest. And as they're going deeper in the forest, like, okay, mysterious old man. Not old, just mysterious man.
He's actually specifically a young, attractive man.
True.
Tell
the story.
Yeah, they make sure to tell that. Okay, go ahead. Regale us the tale.
All right. So Ugin and Bolas have separated. Ugin is on his own. It's like he's telling his story, and he's making his way to Birth Mountain to find Bolas. He thinks Bolas might be there. As he's flying towards there, he doesn't get there, but he sees Bolas in the sky, and the Victus Amati brood are chasing Bolas. He's able to tell it's Bolas because of his color. He knows what it looks like, and without really thinking, it was like, Bolas, yo, what's going on? What's happening? Like, trying to help his brother. And as he does this, he attracts the Victus Amati to him because he's so loud. Bolas appears doesn't hear Ugin, but the Victus or Amati notices Ugin. So Amati flies down to Ugin, and Ugin realizes that, hey, I can't outfly Amati. I can't fight him. I don't know what to do. He's like he doesn't want to die, but he thinks he's going to die. So he just thinks of whatever we can do. Like, what can I do? And he just conjures these globes, the ones we talked about last time, globes that peer into different planes, and he blows them towards Victus Amati. There's two of them. Amati doesn't know what these are, so he obviously tries to avoid them. He's like panicking, doesn't know what's going on.
Basically poops his pants, if he had pants.
Yes. And Ugin makes his escape while Amati is trying to dodge these globes. Eventually the globes hit Amati, they burst into nothing, and he's like, WTF. Ugin and Bolas have a laugh about that. They escape, and on the way to Breath Mountain, where they were born, they run to. Actually, before this, on their way, they hunt. They gather like a huge feast.
Because they're hungry.
Yes, and before they can actually eat it,
Ugin's been blowing bubbles.
The peanut gallery. Palladius Morris stomps down and is like, yo, this is my territory. Thank you for the banquet. I'm gonna eat it. She tells them about the humans, how over on Birth Mountain now, how there are the concept of dragon hunters, and how that she can kill them anytime she wants to, but she doesn't want to right now. So that's kind of crazy because it almost gives a feeling of like Palladius Morris also is maybe a little afraid or intimidated by these humans, but she obviously is not going to say that.
Definitely.
Right.
Big time.
So Bolas and Ugin, just decide to continue going up there, and they notice all these dragon hunters on Breath Mountain. There's literally shrines of dragon bones, that are everywhere. There's even like, the sister they first saw when they first were born is basically turned into a huge shrine of like where people go and don't know worship dragons like crazy. I don't know. It's crazy because Ugin gets shot with an arrow, a big arrow, mind you, that grazes him. It's obviously poisoned, but one drop of blood falls to the ground, and it hits, and like basically all the dragon hunters or priests or dragon priests, whatever you want to call them, try to run and get splashed by his blood because they're fanatics, and they're drinking the sand, the blood together. It's kind of crazy. Ugin and Bolas decide to keep going because they can't fight them, so they're running, but the dragon hunters are chasing them, and Ugin's like, hey, I'm getting tired. This poison is like taking effect.
Hey man, I'm probably gonna die, so we should not keep doing this.
Right. So they go over a mountain, and they land there, and Ugin is biting where he's been shot, and just basically sucking the poison out and spitting it out. But he's worn out. And Bolas like, okay, we're gonna wait here. We're gonna fight them and kill them. Ugin's like, no, I don't want to fight them.
Dude, I'm literally getting ready to die, man.
I want to leave. And Bolas like, are you scared? don't be scared. Don't be scared, Ugin. And it was like, no, I don't want to kill innocents. Like, I don't want to, like, I understand these people are different, but I don't want to kill innocents. I don't want to just randomly kill people for no reason. And Bolas like, it's not for no reason. It's for our sister. And he's like, listen, I'm not going to do it, okay? I'm not going to do it. And Bolas like, okay, don't worry, brother. I promise you, you won't need to do anything. You won't need to kill anybody. And then it shuts off. And we go back to the clan. By the way, when Bolas says you don't need to kill anybody, he's got some mind control magic going on.
Definitely. He's gonna go all Clementine and make them fight each other.
Yes. So then we go back to the
Tarkir.
The Tarkir bleeding has actually beat the Ojai dragon. He comes back to the group. And he's like, before I killed my brother, he told me that treason has happened. They're like, uh-oh, what do we do? Luckily, he's weakened, so they're able to fight him, and they're able to kill the dragon.
With the help of the mysterious storyteller.
Yes. Who's able to use magic.
What type of magic?
Mystery.
Is it a mystery?
Actually, I don't know. Does he use magic?
He does. Well, he uses a magic blade.
Oh yeah, he's okay. So then his like piece of his clothing cuts off, and there's a sign there that designates him as a ghost fire warrior, basically a warrior that should have been dead, because
Ojai wanted them eradicated.
Yes, when the Elder Dragons took over, Ojai met Shuyun. Shuyun was the leader of the humans. He's like, Ojai, please kill me, and if you kill just me, just promise me you'll spare basically most of us in my clan, or whatever. And Ojai's like, okay. He killed Shuyun, but also he also killed eradicated all the Ghost Fire warriors as well.
And Ghost Fire, we know, is the magic of Ugin the Spirit Tree.
Correct. And so they see that tattoo with a marking that says he's a Ghost Fire warrior, and that's where it ends.
I feel like at the end Yusuf is like, see, I wasn't going to kill you before, but now you got this thing that shouldn't exist, so now you got to tell me this story. Now you got to tell me this story, or I'm going to kill you again.
Yeah, it's
He's
getting
like, again with the killing.
It's getting pretty mysterious.
it's getting mysterious.
Very mysterious.
Where do you think that? Because I think that the Ugin and Bolas story is taking place on Dominaria, but we don't really know, do we?
Oh, I guess it is Dominaria.
I mean, probably, but that hasn't been stated.
No, it hasn't been stated, but I imagine it is. Yeah, I think it has not been stated, but
what if it's Tarkir? What if they're both from Tarkir? And the dragon hunters are.
Oh man, maybe you're right.
Ultimately turns into the clans before, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I guess they could be. They could not be on Dominaria. They could be on Tarkir.
Because Ugin knows the like.
They're actually kind of making the. Actually, that might be right, because they're kind of making like the Victus Asmadi is kind of like the.
Is very Atarka-like.
Yes, exactly. And then we have
Chromium is very Ojai-like.
Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And then you have the Brant one. What's his name? I should know his name.
Arcades?
Yes, Arcades. He's like the
Dramoka,
Baby Boca. That's what he's like. So yeah, I actually can see that. Like maybe they start as 3 colors and divide into two.
As time went on, maybe they were kind of the Elder Dragons to the Elder Dragons. I don't know. It's just a theory.
Yeah. I wonder if Platius is the Atarka or Vivictus Asmadi. Yeah, it's probably Platius is Atarka.
Well, Platius is definitely Atarka because it's all about hunting and feeding.
Yeah, and Victus is probably more like Silumgar. Well,
no, I think Vivictus is like, oh my gosh.
Which color?
I can't think of the other one. Not Colgan.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Like
That's the
Colgan.
name. Yeah, black red. Yeah, Colgan. Yeah.
And then Bolas is.
I guess
Bolas
Bolas
is like Solgar. Yeah.
Dang. Huh. You cracked the code.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It could just
be. It fits.
It could just be wrong, but this is something I was thinking about. I'm like, what if this is just early? What if this is just early Tarkir? Because in the story they do talk about a human knowing about other planes, but do we know? We don't know that their Bolas and Ugin are planeswalkers.
No, they're not.
No. But we don't know in the events of the past of Fate Reforged that they're planeswalkers. We just know that they're dragons fighting.
Time always messes things
up.
So.
What if? Because how does Bolas' spark ignite? Do we know that?
No, we don't know that yet.
What if his spark ignited when he killed Ugin on Tarkir? Because he was always on Tarkir.
Maybe to get more power. It has to do with power, I imagine. I imagine Bolas killed Ugin.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna look up Crux of Fate.
Sure.
Because I feel like this is going to be. Go ahead. You keep going.
I was gonna say. I think right now they seem like sure they might disagree on things, but they're still brothers, and Bolas is super defensive of the other dragons, like as a whole family. So I can only imagine he kills Ugin because he wants power.
It looks
maybe like because they're maybe they're from the same egg. You kill one, you get the power. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, like a brother eating its sister and the fetus.
Like a Highlander type deal.
Exactly. Okay, so it does look like on Crux of Fate that Bolas has the Gem of Becoming, which seems to be the notable difference in Bolas being a planeswalker versus not being a planeswalker.
Okay. So and the Gems of Becoming aren't from Tarkir. They're from a different plane. So
yeah, exactly. So most likely, I mean, but did they? Maybe they both planeswalked initially to Tarkir, like when they first became planeswalkers.
I don't know.
Remember when we were talking about Battle Bond and you brought up, you're like, what are the odds that two twins both becomes planeswalkers? Well, Bolas and Ugin are also technically twins, right? And they both become planeswalkers.
So we know two.
And I'm looking at Bolas the Ravager, and I'm going to see if we can glean anything from
Bolas Ravager has no gem.
Has no gem.
When he ascends, he has it.
Exactly.
When you think of Bolas the Risen, he has a gem becoming.
Yeah, so that's like the key difference. Also, I do want to point out Bolas's coloring is pretty awesome on when he's the Ravager, because they talk about his coloring in this story. Ugin specifically does.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a lot more awesome, like color wise, in that art than he does in Bolas the Arisen. He's very brown, and he's kind of just brown from then on. But he has like these metallic sheens on the other one. And continue. Go ahead.
I think you're right. Like I just want to point out that Nicol Bolas from Masters 25, the creature, not the planeswalker, has no gem becoming either.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it definitely seems like that is that's the difference.
What helped him ignite or become planeswalker?
Yeah, because the other arts that we have of Bolas pre planeswalker is obviously the Nicol Bolas art, which just we can ignore that one because it literally makes no sense. It's Nicol Bolas in a chair reading a book
Oh, sure.
But obviously, Bolas is a dragon, so that book would literally have to be the size of a house.
Yeah.
But then we have the From the Vault Dragons Bolas that was reprinted in Masters 25. So if anyone wants to look at that art of young Knuckle Bolas also depicts him without the Gem of Become.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that's the difference. Anytime he has the Gem of Becoming is when he's depicted as a Planeswalker. Anytime pre-Planeswalker, he does not have it.
Interesting.
But we don't know anything about the Gem of Becoming,
right? We know it's from the Pools of Becoming, and that he used it to harness Grixis mana focus.
Yes, but we don't know so we don't know much. We do know a little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah. Like we don't know where it's from. Like, well, actually, we do know where it's from. We just don't know. All we know is that it gathers mana makes it easier for him to gather mana and focus and uses powers.
Yeah,
and it's specifically Grixis mana.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's all we know. We don't know like how it became about or whatever. But yeah,
there's got to be some point.
But we do know Bolas has his own plane. Or maybe that he created, the one that he goes to all the time. That he's made his.
We don't know that he created it. I think he probably did because Planeswalkers pre-mending were powerful enough to create planes. Sarah created her own plane. Bolas probably created a small plane.
The plane was called the Pools of Becoming. So maybe the Pools of Becoming birthed. Maybe he created it to birth this gym, and that's how it happened, you know.
Maybe so.
Did he have it before the conflux?
Well, we didn't really see him.
We see him on conflux, right?
We see him on. He has it. His hand.
See his hand.
He has it on conflux. In the events of conflux, he has it. But but before that, we don't see Bolas at all.
Yeah.
And he's not depicted in anything specifically, post or pre-conflux. So I'm not sure what to think of it, but I'm not 100% sure that we're not on Tarkir, or that the story doesn't take us to Tarkir. I mean, I guess we know it will because we're pretty sure that it's going to bring us to the point of, Bolas attempting to kill Ugin, but I don't know. Just something I've been thinking about. Rolling around the old noggin,
Yeah. The gym is definitely the one that's the thing that's like super mysterious about Bolas still.
That's the key.
Obviously, Bolas as a whole, he's mysterious, but it's something we've seen forever that we still don't know exactly what it really is. Besides, like, health and focus and gain more power, blah 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 blah. But like, as far as like, what else to do?
Do you think that the more that we learn about Bolas in this story, that he's gonna that he'll become less interesting because some of the mystery is going to be kind of stripped away?
No, I don't think so. I'm actually I'm super interested in the story right now. Like, I want to know so much about him. Like, I want to know why he's the way he is, and such. Like, obviously, he was born to be kind of like a douche, but I think he was like also traumatized when he was born and then literally saw his
sister immediately get murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, and even now, like, he's kind of like naive. Like, Ugin seems to be like the wiser one, the smarter one, the
more patient,
whatever.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and Bolas like so reckless and like, and he's not like in the current timeline. He's not reckless. He's like very cunning. He's very smart. He's conniving, and he doesn't seem that way in the current story. So I'm curious to see how he evolves because he obviously he changes a lot. So I'm curious to see what happens there.
I think we will find out. I think we will find out. I've been pretty happy. This is the third story. I've been pretty happy so far with the story. I know you have too. Obviously, I know we've talked about it.
I've loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. This mode of storytelling, as we've said every week, has been really refreshing. I don't know. It's really cool. I like it. I'm in for this one.
All right, and then we'll be back. I'm ready for the next week's story. So
yes,
hopefully. Yeah, good thing we were a week behind, because if we were not a week behind, we would have we would do this time
impromptu break. But because I demanded we talk about our other stuff and push us a week behind, much to Ollie's chagrin. Here we are.
Yeah, now it's okay. Now I'll catch back up though.
Okay.
It's funny. It's funny how things work out.
It is. But you know what? It did. And here we are. Ollie, anything else from Chronicles of Bolas, Things Unseen this week's?
No, that's it. Again, all I want to say is like the guys. This thing is very hard to summarize because again, it's just people talking back and forth. If you really and people's thoughts. If you really want to like get more into the story, like I'm basically just hitting bullet points here. If you want the meat of the article, like meat of the story, like see the emotion and stuff, definitely go and read it. It's
worth the read. It's for sure. I mean, these are very good stories.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Heading on to the next section then.
All right.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Ollie, last week, you and I both saw a movie.
We did.
And this is a movie, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, that in my opinion, we do not need to throw up our world famous spoiler warning.
No, I mean, guys, it's like that. It's like that NASCAR one. NASCAR 1, NASCAR 2, Fast Furious 3, NASCAR 5, Fast Furious 7, NASCAR Fast Furious 8. It's all the same thing. People racing, maybe some gangster stuff thrown in, but it's literally the same thing. Like action. And Jurassic World is basically the same as all the other Jurassics. There's dinosaurs.
All the other Jurassics.
There's dinosaurs and there's people getting eaten by T-Rexes. Like yeah. I mean, if you don't want like details spoiled, I guess, then you can leave, obviously. But
dude, I'm gonna tell you guys.
You know what to expect when you go watch Jurassic World.
I do not believe this is a movie that can be spoiled. There's things that are surprising that we're going to talk about, but you're either in or you're out. You're in or you're out on this one.
Yep.
Okay. Let's start with the beginning. Actually, sure. Why don't we start with people like the ratings. So since we're in no spoiler territory, why don't you talk a little bit about how you felt about the movie before we get into the meat and prehistoric bones?
Speaking of meat, I'm gonna go meatloaf tier, which is the 3-star tier.
Okay.
Because this movie was what to expect. It was actually kind of fun. Actually, I'll give it 4 stars. I'll change it much 4 stars because like. You know what to expect. You guys, I'm not looking for anything super crazy, but I mean, I enjoyed my time here. I went in expecting nothing besides dinosaurs, and actually liked it more than the other ones. I'll get into that in a bit. But Justin, what do you give it?
So, I want to first give a little history on my personal relationship with Jurassic Park and its films. I saw the first Jurassic Park movie when I was 6 years old in theaters, and it terrified me. Literally. My mom loves to tell this story. I went to the theater with my parents and my cousin who's a year and a half older than me. We got these big drinks with a T-Rex head coming out of it and a straw coming out of its mouth. We sat in that theater. We nearly pooped ourselves watching this movie because we were so terrified. I literally we cried after the movie, maybe during the movie, because it was so scary. We're, again, 6 years old. We should not have been watching this movie, but dinosaurs, yay, it's fun. But it's not. It's very scary for a 6-year-old. I'm telling you from personal experience. Went home, had that stupid T-Rex head drink in my room because I don't want to get rid of it, but I also was scared of it. So I would like wake up in the middle of the night and just like look at it, make sure it was still there, make sure it hadn't turned into an actual T-Rex. It did not. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Despite
all of that, Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park in 1992, that was my first favorite movie ever, like in my life. Now, it's not my favorite movie now, although I still do really like the original Jurassic Park. I think it holds up really well.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first favorite movie ever, so there's always a soft spot for these films, regardless of how good, because there's been good ones and there's been bad ones. Unfortunately. I think Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom falls into the not so good territory, and I'm going to give this 2 stars.
Dang. So average 3-star. Okay.
Because I think this movie is probably worse than I think that it is. I don't want my time back or my money, but I'll probably never see this movie again because I don't think it was good. Even though I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think this is a good film.
Well, this wasn't scary at all. Like there was no scares at all. It was just
no.
It was kind of hard to get scared. I think at this point.
Yeah.
Like
there's some suspense, obviously, because you have people running away from dinosaurs.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's more focused on the people than dinosaurs, but I didn't like.
Definitely was.
I didn't care too much. The one thing I did want to, I thought in the opening scenes when you saw the big water dinosaur, like you saw him like break out and everything and eat the people. And
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I want to see that thing more. You know.
I think that was so the opening scene where there's a crew that's going down to retrieve the Indominus Rex bone from DNA. Off of Isla Nublar. And it's dark, it's rainy, and they're going in, and they're in a little submarine, and they open the door to go into this territory. Of course, disaster strikes, people get eaten by dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It was a classic Jurassic Park scene because it's you know what's there, but you can't see it until you do when it's too late. Mm-hmm. And it was that scene in particular was a great callback to actually the first movie. And I think this is good and bad. I think it was like the best scene in the entire film.
Yeah, I think it was.
It's really good. It was actually really good.
Yeah,
because it's like it's
just seeing the submarine, and then like in the background you see this huge shadowy figure.
Yeah,
with its mouth open.
And then when they go on land,
like,
and the guy's trying to communicate. He's trying to communicate with the submarine guys.
Yeah,
it's good. It's a great scene.
It's great. Yeah. Then what happens afterwards too? And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see more of this fishy monster thing.
Okay, all 5 seconds of all 5 seconds more in the rest of the movie that you got to see of it.
I also really like Blue. I wish we got more time with her.
Blue, the Velociraptor from the last Jurassic World.
Yeah, not Blue.
Movie.
Not Blue's Clues, just Blue. She seemed
not
awesome.
Blue from Old School.
She just seemed awesome, and I loved how like she was able to fight the other dinosaur because like the other dinosaur had her DNA, and the Indominus Rex, but Blue is more experienced. She's been alive longer, and I like that fight scene a little bit. I wish we had more of that, like, because we see like bits and pieces, but I would love to see like how Blue like actually fought her, because we see like the hybrid like fly out of the room and fly down here, go up here and stuff, and it's like, can we see more of the fight scene?
Yeah, so there's this hybrid dinosaur that was created to be like the ultimate military weapon. Yeah. Where it was taken of basically like a velociraptor. It's like a velociraptor and a Tyrannosaurus Rex combined, essentially.
Yeah.
Where it's like got the strength and raw power of a T-Rex and the cunning and speed of a velociraptor. Because of course, like in Jurassic Park lore, those are like the two. Those have been like they're like the two big dinosaurs that they've cared about primarily.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting, I guess, to see like them position like one of the dinosaurs as like a good guy dinosaur, even though like traditionally the carnivores have been the bad guys.
Yeah, but like it was kind of push and pull though. Like it portrayed Blue as a good person, good. But then like when she would help, she was almost treated like a second class. Like she's like, okay, well you're fighting, we're gonna leave you alone. Like there was no like, oh my god, hope Blue's okay. Like I was like, guys, what's Blue doing?
Yeah, okay, and like, that's part of my problem, dude. You literally Chris Pratt, who, okay, another confession. The two leads in this movie, I love. I love Chris Pratt. I think he's fantastic. And I have a gigantic crush on Bryce Dallas Howard. So to get over how not good I thought this movie was, had to go pretty far because I thought those two were great. But Chris Pratt's character, you literally got convinced in the beginning of the movie to go on a mission you're probably going to die on to take care of this dinosaur that you raised. And then later in the movie, you're just like, she's fine. Just let her do her thing. No, now she's in clear and present danger that you can see with your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
No, yeah, I mean, like, that's one thing I don't really like. Because I was like, I feel like she was like one of the big centerpieces. I feel like Blue's more important to me than the actual girl that was cloned, basically.
Oh, yeah. So this is the biggest spoiler of the movie. And I don't care because it doesn't matter. There's like this big reveal that this little girl that... Oh, also they introduced John Hammond's partner, who just came out of nowhere. He's like this old man. And he dies in the movie because he's killed by his little associate. Who is this was like the easiest layup of, obviously this guy's going to be a bad guy. But of course they serve it to you like you're a moron anyway. And it's like it's supposed to be a surprise. But his granddaughter is a clone of his other granddaughter. And that's the big reveal. And it's like in a throwaway line.
It is.
Like the end of the movie,
like,
and like no one reacts to it. So the audience is left like, oh, is that like that's a big deal, or are we still doing the dinosaur thing?
Yeah, like it's a big deal, but exactly.
Is it a big deal? Is that a big deal?
I mean, I don't know.
It's a big deal in real life, right? Is it a big deal in a world where dinosaurs are now roaming the United States?
Yeah, this movie was definitely like mindless fun, and nothing of real substance. I am more excited for like a movie where we could see dinosaurs actually coexist with humans. It's kind of like the Stone Age, but not Stone Age, because we're.
I mean,
not Stone Age anymore.
Look, I'm gonna see it. It's not gonna be good, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch it.
Look, I'll watch it because I've been in for the rest. I'm gonna be in for that one. It's gonna have Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard in the movie, so I'm gonna watch it. It's fine. I know I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna talk about it on the podcast. Every act of this movie was worse than the last. The opening scene was the best scene. Then the first act of the movie, when they're on the island, I was like, okay. I was like, no, this is fun. This is fun. This is what I came to expect. And then they moved on to the island. There's way less dinosaurs, and it focuses way more on the people. But you know what? You know what I want to see? It's not People World, Fallen Kingdom. It's Jurassic World. I want to see the dinosaurs. Oh, then you get to see the dinosaurs, and they're just locked in cages, and you just look at them.
Yeah. This definitely less more about people. And I personally...
So who is this movie for? Seriously, who is this movie?
It's not scary.
It's not scary. So it's like, okay, so it's scary. It's too scary for like young children, but it's not scary enough for adults to enjoy it. But
yeah, because there's parts where like a human's like ripped in half. So obviously young children can't watch that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's...
So I don't know. Yeah, actually, I don't know. It's a good question because like if they didn't have that scenes or those scenes where like they showed people
like,
actually
like violence, like serious violence.
Yeah, there's actually violence. Yeah.
But there's not after the first act where there's a lot of dinosaurs. Then the rest of the second and third act, there's not that many. I mean, you see them, but they're not doing anything. They're just standing there because they're in cages. So it's not for them. It's not for like 8 to 12-year-old kids because they just want to see the dinosaur stuff, right? Because that's what I wanted to see. Okay, so it's not for them. But then this movie it treats you like a moron with all of the different twists because they're not twists.
Oh, teenager.
No, I went with a 13-year-old. He thought it was stupid too. He's the most teenager I've ever met. Like he literally, Parker is the like the depiction of a 13-year-old like angsty teen. Okay,
fair enough.
He didn't like it because he was like it's intelligent, so he was like, well, this is not good. The writing is not good. He was like, well, the acting is fine. I was like, yeah, the acting was fine because you're not. What do you mean? what are you supposed to do? Like, you can't, if you're an actor, you're not writing the script. But the twists are non-twists, because you either see them coming with the guy turning out to be bad, or they're completely irrelevant with the little girl turning out to be a clone. Who cares? Like, what? I just don't know who this movie is for. Who is it for? It's not. It's not for adults. It's not for kids. It's not for young adults. It's not for old kids.
People have watched all the Jurassic Park.
Me, that's me. That's not for me. I didn't like it.
I know, but that's who would watch it, I guess.
I mean, they got my money. Is that what they wanted?
I guess. Like I said, this thing had no substance at all, but
no,
it was just a dino movie.
And not even
kind
a good. Like, it's less dino movie than every other dino movie.
I'm taking back my 4-star. 3-star.
No, you can't take it back. You've already said it. Just because I convinced you.
Most of this movie, I said 3-star first.
Most of this movie takes place in a mansion. Like, the vast majority of this movie.
Yeah.
You know that my biggest. Go ahead.
I did like my favorite 2 dinosaurs were blue, and a thing that kept headbutting people.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, honestly ridiculous. It's funny.
Although, see, that was ridiculous because, like, once it gets loose, when all the rich people are like bidding on dinosaurs, and it's going through and it's like headbutting people. It's like it shows 2 people within like 1 second getting headbutted and flying across the room in 2 different directions. It's not possible. There's only one dinosaur. It needs momentum to do that. You can't just headbutt someone and then turn around and headbutt another one. Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm not paying attention.
You're
to that.
right.
I'm just
you're right.
watching dinosaurs.
You're right. Fair enough. But you couldn't even see it. That was the problem. You couldn't even see the dinosaur. You just saw people flying. Yeah. You were just supposed to be like, oh, it's headbutting people. That's right.
It was funny though. He was comic relief.
I guess. I mean, it was. Look, I'd rather it happen more than people just talking, which was, the majority of the movie. That wasn't okay. So the last thing that I have, the biggest issue that I had with the movie, at the very end, and this is the thing that just was like put it over the edge for me. Okay, so there's all the gas that's going to kill the dinosaurs in the little containment area, right? Because they're all still in the cages.
Oh my God, you're right.
Right,
yeah,
you know what I'm going to say?
Yes.
Okay, so they're like debating. They're like, oh my God, these are animals. We have to let them out of these cages, or they're going to die.
All right, we're going to let them die. We wasted 99% of the movie, 99% of the movie trying to save them, but at the end, we're just going to let them die.
And then she decides, she's like, nope, going to let them die. And then the little girl comes, and they're going to die because of the gas, right? And it's like, okay, so they let him out. They let him out of the cages. Like, oh my gosh, we saved him. Wait, there's this big steel door. They can't escape. They're still going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, so they're still going to die. So that little speech meant nothing. And you've not made a decision. You're still letting them die. And then the little girl comes and opens them, and then lets them out. Lets them out into the world, right? So they don't die because of the gas.
Me.
You know how you solve this problem? You open the big steel door. Don't let them out of the cages. Open the big steel door. The gas goes out. That's how air works.
Oh my God, genius!
Just let the air out. They won't die. They won't die. They're still protected. They're not going to go and murder people, which is what they're absolutely doing right now, as we speak. Intentionally or unintentionally, they're certainly murdering people.
Yeah.
And now you've just let them out. And she was just like, they're like me. Yeah, let them live. Open the big door so you let all the poison gas out. Then they live. You didn't need to let them out of the cages. Are you moronic, all of you? The answer is yes, basically. They are moronic.
Yeah. All right. I've had enough dinosaur fun.
Me too. Before we go, I do want to remind everyone, we obviously are going to have another pop culture segment next week, as we do every week. We're going to be talking about a movie I hope to be better, and that is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Mark it on your calendars for next week. We give you a week to watch it. It just came out the day that you are listening to this, or it's already been out, because the day this podcast comes out is the day that movie comes out. So you can go see it if you want. If you want to join in the conversation as you did this week, we're going to try to do better. Someone noted in our Discord that we should be letting you guys know what we're doing on our pop culture segment. So we actually have been, but I kind of put it at the very end of the podcast rather than in the pop culture section. So I'm going to move it to the pop culture section to make sure everybody gets it. All right? Get it? Got it? Good.
Good.
We're moving on. You guys know what's next. Question of the week. We'll be back in just a second. Ali Aintrazi, you know what time it is.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. We need a little, like, theme music for question of the week. Just like a little, like, 10-second thing.
Dun, 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 dun. Question of the week is now with Justin and Ollie.
Yeah, see, that would be perfect. And if we could just get a professional to do that.
That was. Are you saying unprofessional?
I mean, I don't want to say it, but you did. You
All
pretty
right.
much made me say
let's
it.
Let's just move on. Let's move on.
Okay, question of the week this week. So now, I don't want to say that I'm softballing this one up, but I do know how both of us feel about this.
All right.
But I'm going to keep banging this drum.
Bang it.
Question of the week for episode 51 of Thinktwice. Ollie, should Brainstorm be banned in Legacy?
I want to go with yes, because again, repeat what I said. I think diversify the format would make it, I think, actually more like healthier. Like, you still have a bunch of cantrips, so Storm wouldn't die, and you'd actually open up the door to a lot more decks that can actually compete. Brainstorm is just so powerful; it just does so many things, and I don't think it should. Like, I think it's more powerful than Probe. Like, why is it here?
Well, yes.
So yeah, like Brainstorm can be like it can hide cards. It can be like a recall sometimes with fetch lands.
Oftentimes,
it can flip your Delver. It can. It has like 6,000 modes. It's like a Tuned Aether that was banned in Standard. Like, it's.
No, it's not. That's insulting to Brainstorm.
It's true. The card is absurd. The card is much better now, obviously. But I'm saying, like, when you have a card that's like, if you're playing blue, you have to play this card. You have to play this card if you're playing blue. If that's isn't that the case? Isn't that when you ban cards?
You have to play. You have to play this card, and you have to play 4, and you don't side it out.
Yeah,
Ever.
like if you're like, that's the definition of banning a card, right? When you're foreign warping, when you're a color and you 100% forced to play this card, like, you need to look at this card more. And this card has been this way forever. It's not new, so.
You're right. It's
Yes.
always been like that, and unfortunately, I believe that it's always going to be. However, I obviously agree that Brainstorm should be banned for all of the reasons Ollie said and more. You want to really diversify the metagame that you claim that you care about, Wizards of the Coast. Why don't you allow other colors to be played on equal footing with blue? Now,
how sweet would have been to see the Pro Tour with that, with no
Brainstorm?
That would have been amazing.
Great. It would be great to see it with no Brainstorm, because you want to see all new decks, everything new. That's how you do it.
Yeah, Standard new.
Congratulations,
Legacy
you killed 2 to 3 decks. Only one of which was a problem by getting rid of Probe and Death Rat Shaman. Congratulations, you did it. You have shaken up the metagame.
We're kind of just like rewinding time, basically like going back in the past.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way.
But if you would have been Brainstorm, you would have shaken the format.
You.
Brainstorm. Right.
No, go ahead. You keep going. Go ahead. You were doing great while I was singing.
That's it. That's all I had.
Yeah. Anyway, this would put all colors, in my opinion, on equal footing. Blue is knocked down a peg. It's still going to be just fine because you have all of these other cheap cantrips and Force of Will and Show and Tell. It's going to be just fine.
Snapcaster Mage. Yep.
Yeah, Snapcaster Mage, Jace the Mind Sculptor, other cards that have partial blue in them. Just get rid of Brainstorm. Ollie and I agree. Putting our
That's the gavel.
That's the gavel. The Brainstorm gavel. Okay, Ollie, where can people find you?
Wait, before that, can I tell them?
You can tell them whatever you want. Tell them whatever you want.
Animal of the week, or not yet?
No, we're not. I prompt you for that.
Dang it! All right,
Ollie, we're a year in.
You can find me.
You're a year in.
You can find me at www.twitter.com/Ali Aintrazi, twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. Gathering Magic articles. If you guys have been watching them, I have had one every day this week for the set review. If you guys want to go back and look at the standard set review, it'll be up all week, forever actually. You can just go back and read it. And you can find me in Justin's heart.
Oh, that is totally true. You can find me also on Twitter at jparnell1. Of course, this is where you can answer the question of the week to let us know that you also think Brainstorm should be banned. You can also find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. We're on a short break from Commander Versus, but we will be back very, very soon, so stay tuned. You can find the show on Twitter, ThinktwiceMTG on Twitter, and if you want to shoot us a personal email, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. You can also find the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and Stitcher, as well as a host of other podcast apps. Please leave a review if you don't mind. It takes a very short amount of time with you, and it fills a hole in our heart that we only reviews can fill. There's no other way to fill that hole, that gap, that Death Red Shaman has left. The only way to fill it is with reviews.
Fill her up.
If you want to support us when we stream, in addition to Ollie's stream, which he noted above, you can find us on twitch.tv/thinktwicemtg. And of course, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/thinktwicemtg as well. We have several great rewards tiers. We talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about our $1 all-grow Bolas tier that gets you early access to the show, as well as access to our Discord channel, which is a lot of fun. There's several other reward tiers that get you access to playmats and tokens and special decks from Ollie and myself, Commander, Legacy, Modern, Standard. I'm going to be posting some new Legacy decks in there once I get a little time. So if you want to get access to that, patreon.com/thinktwicemtg is the place to go. Now, Ollie, this is the part you wanted to get to. Every week, we name a special Think Twice Discord Animal of the Week. And the winner this week is, by your choice...
Wait, drum roll
okay,
me.
I got it.
And the winner of the week is... Sneal's Pet Guinea Pig. There's two of them. Which one is it? It's Polly. Because it rhymes with Ollie.
Was that what you
not
picked?
Really. No, but Polly's adorable. So black, and rhymes with Ollie. So that was two. So. So congrats, Polly. Congrats, Neil. Congrats, guinea pigs of the world.
If we get a picture of Polly with a sign behind her that says "Think Twice Animal of the Week," I will tweet it out.
I will as well.
Yep, that is your reward for us. You get a little extra. All the masses get to see your
beautiful animal.
The beautiful animal, Polly. You're our winner. The cutest animal of the week for this week. All right. Awesome. We want to give a special thanks to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com, and our director and producer, John Choi. You can hear his smooth stylings every week, where he inserts music when we would be talking nonsense. We also want to give a special shout out to our Agent of Bolas producers, Daniel Hunt, Matt Lindell, Liam Whelan. You guys, as Ollie likes to say,
MVP, the true
MVP. Okay.
They are.
That's the show for this week, guys. Ollie, I love you. You're the best co-host in the world. Thank you for agreeing with me on Brainstorm, or else we would not be able to have this show. Nah, I'd probably still figure out a way, but I'd remember it in my heart.
Love you too, Dustin. Love you too.
All right. We love you guys too. Talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.